All right, everybody, welcome to IMBA TV, where everything is in balance. I'm MC Dustin. With me is Jim Raynor and Torre, bringing you the EU Craft Cup number 30. Thanks for joining us here as we get into it. This is the semifinal match with Dimaga sitting at 1 point and Joe sitting at 0. So, in the ZVP on Lost Temple, at the farthest rush distance. Why don't you go ahead and take it from there, Jim?
All right. So it's 1-0 for Dimaga. Dimaga is attempting to win his first ever Craft Cup game, or his first ever Craft Cup event, rather. And we're seeing a pylon warping in within Joe's main base. This indicates we'll see no really early cheese play. Joe is not doing any scouting at all. Dimaga is using his overlords to scout. This is a 4-player map, so part of the scouting process includes figuring out where your opponent is located. And Dimaga now realizes that Protoss is not at the top of the map. Joe is warping in a gateway at the top of his ramp, the beginning of that wall-off type of formation Protoss players like to use. Spawning pool in the back of Dimaga's base. Extractor planted into the ground, and we now have drones mining gas from that extractor while the spawning pool continues to, metamorphosize, or what does it do? What is that thing doing in there? Is it metamorphosing, or what is it doing?
Metamorphosis?
Maybe. Well, is it undergoing a metamorphosis? I don't know what it's doing, but it's growing. Now, Dimaga doesn't have another major decision to make for probably the next 30 seconds or so. It's pretty much laid out for him. Now, he has yet to... Well, now that the Zergling speed research has completed, Dimaga has taken all of his drones off of gas. So the Zergling speed upgrade should be done in about 60 seconds. Dimaga's army consists of 4 Zerglings. Joe's army doesn't exist yet. Dimaga's nice scouting overlord is doing its job here. It's going to go right over the ramp. Currently, Joe has got 19 probes, chrono boosting in a 20th. Joe's first fighting unit will be a Zealot. That Zealot will have a hard time running all the way across the map and getting to Dimaga's expansion hatchery. And so this is what makes it so easy for Zerg players to expand on larger size maps. The travel time from one end of the map to the other becomes its own defense. Now we're seeing a sentry, an interesting second unit. The second fighting unit for Joe will be a sentry. Joe continues to chrono boost in probes. Joe is at 23 probes. Dimaga is at 19 drones. Zergling speed upgrade is completed. A second queen is on the board for Dimaga. The expansion hatchery will complete in about 5 seconds, and the queen is going to be right there to do the larva injection as needed. Larva injection eventually means more larva. Larva means you can build more units, and more units means you can win the game. Roach Warren for Dimaga. We saw Dimaga win game 1 on mass roaches. And here comes Joe. 1 Zealot, 1 Sentry, 1 Stalker. A second and a third gateway. No robotics facility at this point. The expansion hatchery for Dimaga has completed, and he now sits at 27 drones mining off of 2 bases and 2 extractors, which will become a 3rd extractor in the next 10 seconds or so. And with these 2 queens, Dimaga's economy will be nice and pumped up. And while that is going on, there is an expansion nexus building inside Joe's main base, and Joe is going to use these sentries to build force fields to create a defense. And at this point, Joe sits at 30 probes, mining off of one base. And the lair tech will be completed by Dimaga in about the next 10 seconds. Dimaga is researching burrow, which will allow his roaches to burrow and heal. The roach speed upgrade is also being researched. So we're going to see another deadly combination of roaches and burrow, as we did in game 1. And if we take a look at Joe's main base, 1, 2, 3 gateways, 1 robotics facility. The first unit out of the robotics facility will not be an observer, it will be an immortal. Immortals devour roaches because of the damage they do to armored units, and they take very little damage as well from armored units. So it looks like Joe may have learned his lesson. No observer, though, will be troublesome. However, this fake Phoenix that is racing all over Lost Temple, that fake Phoenix will help with the scouting process. Dimaga now moves forward with 11 roaches. Of course, they're moving so quickly because they're on creep. The scouting Phoenix sees all of those roaches. And the roach speed upgrade has completed. So, with the speed upgrade, roaches become the fastest armored unit in the game. Faster even than the vaunted Stalker. Notice Joe's observer sees everything. Sees all of these roaches, all 23 of them. Dimaga is now going for a Hydralisk den. So we're going to see Roach Hydralisk. Roach Hydralisk is a fearsome combination in numbers.
Jim, we can't hear you.
In large numbers. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Keep going.
Okay,
I'm just about off this call. Sorry.
What?
No problem. Notice we've got 3 cannons and Torre with the inside jokes. I'm telling you. Now, I just heard a changeling die, so it looks as though Dimaga's got some idea of what he is facing. We've got a robotics bay and a Twilight Council about to complete. One Stargate, one robotics facility, 3 warp gates. And Joe is continuing to chrono boost in probes. Both players have 48 worker units mining off of 2 bases. Dimaga is doing a nice job of burrowing all of his roaches to avoid detection. The problem is that observers can see those little guys burrowed into the ground.
Alright, and I'm off the call now, man. I'm back.
Alright. So far it's been a pretty passive game, MC Duff.
That's what it's looked like, yeah.
Both players are have over 50 workers. Another changeling is shot down by Joe. Joe just loves these cannons. 5 of them now he has. 1 for each finger on his left hand. Now he's got 6 stalkers. No upgrade on the stalkers. He's got 6 sentries. More fake Phoenix. A void ray. It looks like Dimaga is going to try to win this with mass Hydralisk, mass Roach.
And it looks like Dimaga is actually upgraded +1 on his range attack upgrades. And then over here on the other side, we do see Joe sitting on +1 armor and +1 attack for his ground units. And Thermal Lance is being researched in level 2 upgrade. And I think you got to fix your cord, man. You're like cutting out really, really bad. Anyways, we also see that there is extended range being upgraded for the Hydralisks as well. And look at this, high yield. That's right, we've got a couple gold standards. I didn't even realize. I believe Dimaga has had his for a little bit, but anyways, we do have a couple gold standards out on the field now.
The Hydralisk range is completed. The range upgrade for the Hydralisk just finished, so I think we're going to see Dimaga try to move in. And also, Dimaga sits at almost 200 units, so that's another indicator that he's probably going to make a move.
That's for sure.
Now, Protoss at this point, I mean, Joe's only got 123 units. Also, with very good use of Queens, Dimaga will be able to rebuild his entire army in short order after taking a big run at the Protoss army. Dimaga, in fact, has got 1,000 minerals and 200 Vespin gas in the bank. Joe, on the other hand, has 300 minerals and 100 gas in the bank. And here we go. Let's get the party started. Dimaga can smell the finals of CraftCup Main Event 30.
That's right, this is a pretty brutal force here.
This is the army that's going to take him here. 12 Corruptors, 31 Roaches. The Roaches are now at +2.
And here we go.
Attack.
Is he going to be able to get the attack off before the +2 armor? Yes, he does. It looks like these Void Rays are going to be in a world of pain here as these Corruptors do some good damage on them. We see some nice force field work going down, making these Hydralisks having a hard time doing some damage here. But it looks like these Colossus will go down, and these Hydralisks will be able to clean up the rest of this.
And Dimaga still has 200 units. All the units Dimaga lost were rebuilt while he was fighting.
That's right. That means 44 Roaches are on their way. Oh, and look at that. Lots of corruption going down.
And I think that's going to do it. Protoss is down to 80 units. Well,
and here come the Roaches. 44 of them. A
parade of Roaches.
Yeah, a whole slew
Santa
of
Claus
Roaches.
parade here.
Chasing the stalkers up that ramp. And it looks like that's right, this game is in Dimaga's pocket.
Stick a fork in Joe, he's done. And Dimaga continues to lose the occasional unit, and usually he's building more units as he's faster than he's losing them.
Yeah, and that high yield is out.
Yeah, it'll take him 5 seconds to lose 3 units, and then rebuild them in 2 seconds. And look at this, a mass of green goo and slime and scum and.
That's right, it's the Zerg Swarm at its best. And there it is, GG! Dimaga's going to the finals! That's right, we've got another Zerg victory here in the Craft Cup.
This is my world. No more games. The evolution continues.
And I don't know what lag you guys are seeing on the screen, but I'm not seeing any lag here on my secondary computer. To the left of me, I'm watching the stream right there, and it looks fine to me. So if you guys are catching lag,